All right, everybody. We are live here on Animal House Radio. It's 7 o'clock, and we have a very special guest in the house. He's a good friend of the show and one of the funniest men I've ever had the pleasure to meet. And I also proud to call him my friend. Please welcome back on Animal House Radio, Mr. Bill Engvall.
Yeah.
Hey. Hello, Carl. I thought someone had come in behind me that you were introducing.
Oh, stop it. Every time I see you, I get like you did when you saw George Strait.
Yeah. That was one of those moments that you never really see coming, and then when it's there, you look like a complete idiot.
Oh yeah.
I was like that when I met James Cagney. I was like humana.
Yeah, I remember there was another one that I was doing a show. Charlton Heston was stepping down from the NRA,
right?
And so I had been hired to do their convention, just to show. And so we were literally walking in a hallway that couldn't have been more than 3 feet wide. And, here he comes, Charlton Heston off stage, Moses, Planet of the Apes, everything, Spartacus. Yeah. I don't know what else he played. And they
Ben-Hur?
Ben-Hur, that was it. And the guy, kind of the liaison guy said, Mr. Heston, he goes, this is Bill Engvall. He's going to be doing a show here in just a couple of minutes. And Charlton Heston shook my hand and said, well, knock him out. And it was everything in my power. Thank God I didn't do it, but it was everything in my power not to go, get your dirty, stinking hands off me, you filthy ape. And it was one of those moments that, thank goodness I didn't do it, because God knows how many times he's had that said to him. But
yeah.
Did he look like he had a good sense of humor, though, that he would have rolled with it?
Yeah. Look, he looked, even at that age, he looked like a guy you wouldn't want to poke fun of in a dark alley.
He's a big guy. He was a big guy.
Oh, yeah, he's huge. And, but so, yeah, I've had a couple of those moments in my career where sometimes I made the right choice. Sometimes the George Strait thing, I didn't really make the right choice of words.
That's okay. You're allowed. But right before you came on, Paul was asking me, where's he calling from? I said, well, he's got a beautiful house in Utah. He posts his pictures online. I said, it looks like God's country.
Utah is beautiful.
It's interesting because Utah was never on my radar really at all.
Right.
We had been up here skiing and, stuff like that, but living here, there's no way I'm ever going to be up here. But like today, it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's
I envy.
I remember driving through Utah a couple of times, and it's like another planet. It's just the mountains, all different colors. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. That's one of the great things about it is like Sunday night, we keep our horses up here, and we're going on an overnight camp out on horseback, which ought to be a blast. And
oh my God, that's another comedy bit.
It's got mountains, it's got desert, it's got we got everything. The only thing we don't have anymore is 3-2 beer. They got rid of that, thank goodness.
Are you gonna play the theme song to the Bonanza when you're riding?
Huh?
Yeah, you play the theme song to Bonanza.
Well, it's either that or Dances with Wolves. I don't know. I might, do that scene where the opening movie when he just lays back with his arms out and he just rides.
Plus, in Utah, you can have 15 wives, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can barely handle one. I don't
think Gail would appreciate that.
I never saw the upside to that at all.
Yeah. As long as you don't wind up like Shane on a horse.
Shane, come back. Come back, Shane. Come back.
Joining us also is a good friend of the show. He's one of our co-hosts. He does a lot of our music stuff. And he came out when you were here last year. And I got to tell you, Bill, every time we call upon you, you always step up for the vets. And they had the best time of their life in Atlantic City when you came.
Well, you know what? It's first off, everybody ought to drop to their knees and thank the good Lord above that I'm not in the armed services. It would not be good. But I got so much respect for all those men and women, and especially those that are still stuck overseas. They can't even get back to see their families, birthdays, Christmases. I mean,
that's the worst thing.
Yeah. When I find myself hosting my own pity party, I often try to think about those that are serving our country, and and have been given the ultimate sacrifice. So it makes my worry seem pretty first world.
Yeah.
And Steve wanted to come on for a few minutes and thank you because he really had a good time, right, Steve?
Steve's got that look like he's fixing to beat my ass. I don't know what that look is. But
Steve looks bigger on camera.
That's I just got home from work.
You know what? The only thing would have made it more perfect, Steve, if you just looked at the camera and said, "That's you, Engvall. I'm looking for you."
That's I just got home from work
and I had a
yeah.
I was going to say it was a good time night. The friends and servicemen we brought, and it was a pleasure meeting you. I just wanted to thank you. You're very, very nice, and what a great show.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know that, and I think we will never know. And anybody that acts like that or says that they understand what these people go through, unless you've done it, you don't.
Yeah.
You know. And I think that the unsung heroes are the wives and the husbands that are left at home,
right?
And have to take care of everything, and they do it because they love it. They love their spouses, and their spouses are taking care of us so that we can have the freedoms that we have. And
yeah, it always gets to me.
I always get so I used to get mad. Now I just start laughing. When I hear these celebrities saying, "Oh, I'm moving to another country," I'm like, "Go,
goodbye,
go already. I'll
goodbye.
pack your bags. Go.
Let me know how that works out for you."
Yeah, exactly. No one always gets to me, Bill, when I watch those videos of soldiers coming home and surprising their kids. It gets to me every time.
Oh yeah. My God, yeah. That's that. I tell you what's bizarre, but it was also very humbling, and I'm very happy. I've had to fly to Florida recently to shoot a commercial, and on both legs of on one leg of each flight, I happened to be looking out the window of the plane as it taxied up, and there was a soldier coming home in a casket.
Yeah, that's hard. That's rough.
Oh wow!
And I got to tell you what really, all we hear is bad stuff, from people, but it was really interesting to watch how all of a sudden, when people realized what was going on, how quiet and respectful they got. And I was so proud of that, that there wasn't that jerk that was like, "Hey, can we get the line moving?" It's like,
but that would have set me off.
But pilot didn't make an announcement. It just like kind of air, but you can't help but notice,
right.
There's the color guard was there, the guys that do the casket carrying. And it was really, I think people tend to forget that just because, we don't see it on the news all the time about what's going on, there's still bad things that are happening. And
that's right.
Some of our men and women give their lives, and we don't ever hear about it because the media doesn't deem it worthy of, we'd rather.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I was telling my wife, we were down in Arizona when this whole COVID thing started. And it got to be like a joke to me because it was like watching a cruddy telethon. It's like, hey, come on now. We're at 900,000 deaths. Come on, Arizona. We need you to step up. Oh, there we go. We got 1 million deaths. Yay.
Put some more people in those nursing homes. Put some more people in them.
Yeah. It's like, so, it's whatever the media determines is the next shiny object. But I think it's really important for people to remember that we still have thousands of service people that are over in other countries and are on a daily basis being confronted with death.
Right.
And just because we don't hear about it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, they're not having a good time. They're not on vacation having a good time.
Yeah, no, they're not sipping Mai Tais in Dubai, all right?
Right.
We had a retired Air Force general, 3-star general. He's a good friend of the show. His name is Lieutenant General Jerry Martinez. And my concern is, Bill, our servicemen and women have enough on their mind just to not be distracted from the daily stuff that they go through. Now they got to worry about their loved ones at home battling this virus. So that's what my concern is.
Oh, I agree. It's like you don't have enough on your plate. It's like, this whole thing, unfortunately, we tend to be a little impatient about, what we really need to do. And you know, it's like when I see people getting in fights over who wears a mask, who doesn't wear a mask, my first thought is you really need to get a grip of reality here. You know, it's like, this is not, you know, like I was like, well, they can't tell me to wear a mask. What are they going to, you know, what's next? They're going to tell me what socks to wear. It's like, okay, you know what? You really need to take a step back.
That's what I love about you, Bill. You're a guy's guy. You're a comics comic. I remember when the last time I interviewed you, and we were talking about the stupid stuff that they blocked in school. They didn't want the candy canes in Catholic school because it stands for J. It's like a J for Jesus. And you said the funniest thing. You go, what bothers me is that there's nobody at these PTA meetings going, excuse me, you want to do what?
Yeah. It's like, I remember, you know, talking about PTA. I remember when I was in college the first time. So yeah, I went back.
You're on a 7-year plan?
Yeah. I'm back in college now at 63 years old. And what I find, and I'm really making good grades, and it's amazing how easy it is to make good grades when you're not drunk and horny 95%.
You're actually concentrating.
Yeah, I'm actually focusing. But yeah, I'm always amazed at when people, you know, like I'll never. There was a very famous audio recording of a lady who called into a radio station because they were going to put up deer crossing signs in her neighborhood, and she said she didn't want the deer there. Why couldn't they put the deer crossing sign up the road so the deer would know to cross up there?
Right.
It's like, and I think that the scariest part about these people is that they breed. You know, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I've never understood that you have to take a test to drive a car, but you can breed for free. There's something messed up in that whole.
You have to have a license to have a pet.
Yeah.
You know, Bill, when you came to Atlantic City the last time, you know, I thought the zip lining story in Costa Rica, which is an older bit, was amazing. And then when every time you come, I always ask you to do the Dancing with the Stars. And then now, with your last time we saw you, that African safari story, I swear to God, I'm not saying this because you're my friend, but that is the funniest comedy bit I've ever heard in my life. And I liken it to Carlin because not every comedian, and that was a long story. Don't get me wrong. I was waiting for the next thing to come out and what was going to happen.
Well, thank you. The latest Bill Engvall idiot move is that where we live, like literally, there's like behind our house, there's like a 40-acre, 50-acre plot of woods, and then on the other side, that's another neighborhood. Well, my neighbor Luke next door, who may be watching, I don't know. He puts a game camera out in the woods behind the house, and he takes pictures of the deer and elk and all that, and then he posts it on his Facebook page. Well, one night I got an idea that I thought it'd be funny if I got a Bigfoot outfit. And would that not be genius? And walk in front of his game camera. Just to be there. Yeah, just to be there when he's flipping through his pictures, like, yeah, there's an elk, there's a deer, that's Bigfoot. So,
you should do it, man.
Wait, is Utah a right to carry state?
Yeah, here's the problem. When I get an idea, I don't really think it through. So I went to the costume store, and they did not have a Bigfoot outfit, but they had a movie quality Batman outfit. And I thought, this is a gift from God.
Oh my God.
Funnier will this be if he's flipping through his pictures and there's Batman walking through the woods. And this thing had everything. It had the mask, the cape, the shirt, the tool belt, the boot, everything.
Right.
And I wanted to do it at night, so the picture was kind of grainy, so he couldn't really see it was me.
Right.
So it gets dark, and I book it out in the woods. Well, I get out in the middle of these pitch black woods, and the thought occurs to me that I don't really know where Luke's game camera is.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm just a grown man dressed like Batman wandering through the woods in the middle of the night. This
like nobody shot you.
Yeah, this is a news story waiting to happen. In fact, I'd be willing to bet every penny I've ever made that if you and your wife were walking out of the house and the TV was on and you heard the anchor guy say, "Grown man dressed as Batman found dead in the woods," you'd be like, "Hey, we got to watch this."
Oh my God.
So I get out in the woods and I start freaking out because I'm hearing stuff and I'm like, I've got this outfit on. And, my wife knew I was doing it and she tried to talk me out of it. I was like, no, this is going to be the funniest thing ever. So I realized I'm lost. I don't know. It's pitch black. So I remember that when I was in the Boy Scouts, they said, if you're lost, just to stop and to pick a point and walk. Just don't wander. Just walk in a straight line. You'll hit a fence or a road or whatever.
Right. You come out to something, right?
Yeah. So I started walking and I popped out of the woods, but now I'm in a neighborhood I've never seen before.
In a Batman outfit.
In a Batman outfit, and every house is dark but one. So I walk up to this fella's back door and I knock on the door and he answers the door and I said, look, man, I'm not crazy. I'm not a psycho. He goes, no. He said, you're just a grown man dressed like Batman at my back door in the middle of the night. And this shows you where guys are guys. I said, look, buddy, I said, my neighbor puts a game camera out in those woods behind the house. And I thought it'd be funny if I got a Bigfoot outfit and wandered in front of his game camera. But I went to town. They didn't have a Bigfoot outfit. But they had this movie quality Batman outfit. And I thought this would be much more funny. And I got out in the woods and I realized I was lost. I didn't know where his game camera was. And the Boy Scouts told me to walk in a straight line. I did. And boom, I'm at your back door. And this guy looked me in the eye and said, makes sense.
Here's your sign.
That's it. So he said, well, what do you need from me? And I said, can I use your phone to call my wife? Come
Pick me up.
And he said, if you're brave enough.
Oh boy. He had no idea it was you, Bill?
No.
In a Batman
I
outfit.
take that back. What happened was after I called home and got Gail, after I had to listen to her for 3 minutes, because she didn't want me to do this. And I said, well, listen, I said, can you come pick me up? And this is why I love my wife. She says, well, I don't know where the bat keys are. I said,
right in the bat cave.
Could you just come get me, please? She goes, I don't know. Are they in the bat cave? Because you always, you change the combination. You're freaked out like the Riddler's going to get in there and steal your stuff.
Oh my God.
So I hang up the phone and the guy goes, how'd it go? And I said, good. She's on her way here.
Oh,
and
wow.
so we're sitting in this guy's den and nothing is being said. I'm sure he still thinks at some point I'm going to whip out a butcher knife and go psycho. And finally he looks at me and he goes, hey man, I don't know what the superhero code is. He said, but you could take that mask off if you want. And I forgot I had the mask on. And I pulled the mask off and he goes, good God, you're Bill Engvall.
He has a story for the rest of his life, man.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I'm sure he tells this story. Oh, he goes, wait, get a beer. I got a story for you.
Oh,
Exactly. I still think you got to do the Bigfoot thing. I think you got to order when you do that.
At some point, I got it. Yeah, that's
hysterical.
gotta happen.
Find
Have
out where
Bigfoot
Luke's
eat the
game
s'more.
cameras are, though, ahead of time, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little reconnaissance before I get out there.
Yeah, find out where it is. Yeah.
And Bill, how are you? And this news cycle is so depressing, and I find myself listening to the blue collar comedy tour, your bits, and believe it or not, you are killing it on Funny You Should Ask. I was watching it today. There was an episode where they asked you. There's a Ohio law that says in gentlemen's clubs you can't touch the stripper unless you're related to them. And you said no, it's okay. It's my mom.
Yeah. I love doing that show. It's really. I tell you, Carlo. I hardly watch the news anymore. I
don't watch it at all.
I can't.
I don't.
And some people say I'm putting my head in the sand, but I also think that we're just,
Come in.
There's a lot of benefits to this 24/7 news thing, but there's, they run out of stuff to talk about. And so I honestly believe that they kind of make stuff up.
I do the bullet points and I'm
definitely
out. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
you
give me
sit
the
there all
bullet
day.
points, I'm good. But to answer your question, how do I get through this? I'm a man of faith, and I really have relied heavily on the big man lately, just to get me through. And it's interesting because I started during the quarantine. It was a silly little thing, but I started doing these things called treadmill talks.
Oh, I
And
love it. I love it. Yeah.
what it is I just get on my treadmill and I just answer questions from the fans. And what I find is that people just want to know that they're not alone in this, that we're all, you know, it's easy to watch the commercials saying, oh, it's trying times, we'll get through all this together. But people really want to hear, and they just want to be heard. And so those things have kind of taken off. And then that led to a thing I do called Sunday Mornings with Bill. And it's just kind of it's just a little 10-minute inspirational talk about,
Watch that too. It's great.
you know, let's get through the week, you know, because there's people out there who are facing incredible odds,
Right.
you know, not knowing if they got a job, right? You know, or like we talked earlier, and the people in the military and armed services, not knowing if they're going to be able to get home to see their family or watch their kid graduate or a baby be born. And even if they were here, they couldn't be in the hospital. You know, it's like, it's crazy out there right now. And I think it's really important that we understand that, you know, everybody's got their problems. And, you know, I always, people say I'm depressed and anxiety and depression and all that. And I always tell them, I just say, you know, talk to a friend, talk to your clergy, talk to God. You know, sometimes it's just nice to be, you know, they just want to be heard. And that's, and I think that sometimes we're too busy trying to answer their questions as opposed to, sometimes they just want you to listen to them.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I tell people, Bill, that are panicking all the time. There's so much evil out there. So much. I always tell them to read the end of the Bible. At the end, God wins.
Yeah, it's a he's got it's a win with it's, you know, it's one of those things that I agree completely with you, Paulie. It's you know, but again, it's our impatience and that you just got, this is all going to play. And by the way, we're not the first to go through this. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could go all the way back to the Hebrews leaving, you know, Egypt and heading out into the wilderness. They don't know. Nobody knew what was going to happen or what the future held. And
you figured after the third year, they say, well, okay, how long is this going to go?
yeah, really. I got it.
You know, both of your programs, Bill, the treadmill talks and the Sunday morning, seeing you, you know, because of who you are and your status, it makes them, it can make their whole day, it can make their week. It gets rid of the anxiety. And it's funny because I was watching it and I'm like, and then you're talking about this guy, Zach. No, I'm thinking this is a trainer that's standing in front of you on the treadmill. And then it took me like 10 minutes to realize that this is a virtual guy on the treadmill that you just want to punch his lights out.
Yeah, that's the fans like I did one the other day that I was doing a hike in Iceland. I thought Iceland was flat, but apparently this dude found the one mountain in Iceland and we were walking up it, but it's like, but you know, I just, I want the people out there to know that you take all this away. I'm just a guy like the rest of them, you know, and I think that's important I think it's important for celebrities to remember that.
Some people forget. Some people do forget.
Yeah, they do forget. And I think sometimes a reminder once in a while that, you know what, if you turn on your fans will turn on you. And then and I always said this, that, you know, I've got to be able to wake up every morning and look in the mirror and I've got to like that guy I see.
Right.
And if I'm not doing what I think is a good thing, then I need to readjust.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so I think that's not because of who I am, but I think that the reason people like the treadmill talks and, you know, like these things and stuff is that they can go, hopefully they go, okay, he's just a regular dude. And that's all I am. It's just, I got great breaks in life for my comedy and I worked at it, but you know, you see me at the Walmart, you see me at the,
you're right.
Yeah.
And
we just have a different job.
Your backyard in a Batman outfit. I don't know.
No, but that's the best part. And you're so humble about it. That's the, you know, the beauty of it.
Thank you. My dad and granddad put that in me. And, you know, my granddad always said, you always need to remember there's somebody that's going to be richer than you and there's somebody that's going to be poorer than you.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but, you know, also don't poo where you are, you know, just be.
Oh yeah. You know,
I always tell people, We just have a different job than you. No one applauds for the plumber. No one applauds for the garbage man. We just have a different job. That's all.
Right, right.
Well, I'm always amazed is when because I don't care if you're the CEO of a company or you're the guy emptying the garbage cans.
Right.
I'm gonna treat you the way it is. I treat everybody, and it's amazing. Yeah. You know, I tell you, a friend of mine, and this was so genius, and it's so simple, and we all can do it. It's like when when a waiter or somebody comes up to you, ask them their name. Just it's that simple. Ask them their name.
Yeah.
And just that simple. That showing of, I want you to know that I know you as something other than just my waiter or you know, and it's just like, hey, you know, I always say, hey, what's your name? They say, oh, Sue. And I go, well, Sue, it's nice to meet you, you know, and then
exactly.
It just makes them, it acknowledges
the human connection, the human connection.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what my problem is though, Bill? I'll tell you, you've always been a man of faith. Just, I mean, before COVID, I don't like the Johnny come latelys. All of a sudden now you want to find God because there's a Christ. What about all year round when you were living the lap of luxury? Did you thank God then? That's my only issue. But I'm all about being, you know, the faith and everything.
Well, a dear friend of mine said to me one time, and one of the greatest things, when times are good, it's easy to have faith. It's when our faith it's in the hard times when our faith gets tested.
Right.
That we really, and you know, you're going to have those, Carlo. You're going to, you know, there's nothing you can do. It's,
no, I know.
I get your point, but I always say they fade away just as quick as they appeared, and you know, it's kind of like the guy that goes to prison. All of a sudden he finds God. Like, well, I bet you did. You know.
I wonder where you found it.
Yeah, maybe you could have found him before you robbed that liquor store. I don't know. I'm saying.
You know, I'm a big fan of your podcast. It's been doing really well. My 2 cents. And I got to ask you about one episode. Why did you get uninvited to back to school night?
Oh.
I got to hear this.
Well, he's wearing a Batman outfit.
It's because I can't keep my mouth shut. Well, my wife, that was years ago. We had gone to back to school, and I went kicking and screaming anyway, because anytime you get parents together, humanity just does not make good choices. I don't know why. So the teacher hands us a syllabus of everything she's going to talk about. Everything's on there: books, tests, attendance policies, everything. Homework, everything. Then she starts reading it to us word for word. And I'm like raising my hand, and poor Gail's just like, stop it. And the teacher says, yes, you have a question. I go, well, I don't really have a question. I can read. So, you know, we can cut this meeting short by 45 minutes. You handed me, you gave me the instructions. I can follow them. I got it. We got it. But I now know why they have to do that, because people are idiots. This woman has just handed us a paper with everything on it: books, homework, tests, attendance, everything. And then recited it to us. And yet there was still a woman who raised her hand and said, "What's your policy on homework?"
Oh my God.
And here's why
then people want to make me pull my hair out of my head, though, you know?
Well, that's why I got uninvited to back to school nights, because I went, oh my God. And the lady said, well, I just think homework, I think kids do enough work at school. They shouldn't have homework when they get home. And I go, well, then raise a dumbass. Great. Do whatever you got to do, you know? It's like, I don't understand why people just can't, if they would just listen, they would learn. You know,
did they put your picture on the bulletin board with the circle with the?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I probably. Yeah. It was like I told that to my son before he went off to college. I said, "Look, I actually handed him my transcripts from my first year at college, and my first grade point average was 0.76. Right? And I slid it across the table to him. I said, "This is what happens when you don't go to class."
Right.
And he said, God, Dad, 0.76. I said, yeah. I said, all you got to do is just go to class. I go, that's your only job for the next 4 years, is just go to class. If you sit there, something will sink in.
Right.
Apparently I was wrong. It just didn't work out.
Oh boy.
I had just on a lighter side, I had a here's your sign moment. You would love it today.
Oh, really?
Today. My wife owns a clothing store on the Jersey Shore, and today is a sidewalk sale where they put stuff on the sidewalk and they sell stuff really cheap. She had all these shoes. She had piles and piles of shoes on this in one section. $5 for shoes. Any shoes, $5. And one guy actually came up to me because I'm working the door for her, and he says, "This $5 each or for the pair?" I'm saying,
Oh my!
really? I mean, really?
You don't even have to. There you go. That just sums it up.
That's Hey, Bill, we had Larry on last month because he's got a new CD out, Remain Seated, and it's doing really well. And we were talking about comedy post-COVID. And he said something very interesting to me, and I wanted to see if you agree. He said, coming out of this, comics have got to band together. If not, we're going to be in trouble, and unfortunately, that means we're going to be for sale, so to speak, as far as what we're going to get. And he said the only ones that are going to make money coming out of this are the people that hustle on a regular basis. I don't know if you agree with that or not. Do you think comedy's going to survive?
I think it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be post COVID. I don't know that I would completely agree with. I get what he's saying. But I think that, comics, we've had to hustle all our lives anyway. It's like whether it's standing in line for spots at the Improv or whether it's, trying to get your tape seen by a club owner. We've always been kind of hustlers, and comics have tried to band together before, and it didn't work just because we're lone wolves. I mean, it's just you out there. It's not like we have a band or we got friends that, it's just you and the crowd. And so I get what Larry's saying, that I think, you're going to, I understand what he's saying, and that I don't think it's just going to be, they're going to throw it in your lap. You're going to have to go after the work. And because if you got clubs that are operating at a 50% occupancy,
right,
or whatever the standard's going to be, then you're going to have to be the best. These kids that do a 3-minute YouTube video. I don't know how easy that's going to be for them, because, it's kind of like when my kids left college and they said, I want to get a job where I make $100,000 a year. I'm like, well, hell, I'd like to have a job. There's a lot of people that want a job that got $100,000, makes $100,000 a year.
Right.
And so, you're going to, the younger kids are going to probably have a harder time, younger comedians,
right,
than guys like myself and Larry, who've been doing this or Foxworthy, and Ron White. I can go down the list. There's a long list of guys that got a proven track record that, a lot of buyers are going to go, yeah, but I know what he's going to give me.
Right. They're not going to take chances.
And it's up to the audience. The audience is going to have to go back out again. They're going to have no fear to go out and
my fear is that the experience is going to change with all these partitions and stuff. And I know you have to do it. Believe me.
This is all going to get blown out of the water soon.
I think it's going to ruin the intimacy.
Sad thing is, unfortunately, the thing that people need the most right now has the lowest priority, and that's to get out and laugh.
Right. I agree.
And I got to be honest with you, Carlo. I've been doing this for over 40 years now and had a really good run. And if this is forced retirement, I'm all right with that. But if they'll let me work still, I'm sure I'll be out there. But until then, the good news is I don't got to make a decision right now. So
right.
It's the only decision I got is I gotta hop off here pretty quick because I gotta go run some honeydew lists. But the
Batman outfit.
Yeah, I got to go steam the Batman outfit.
Sure. Before you go, would you do me? Could you go do a here's your sign for me?
I'll give you. What's the latest? Here's your sign. Oh, it was an interesting one. Before the whole COVID thing, I was doing a show in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I had finished the show, and I went back to the hotel, and there was a young lady working the desk, and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." I said, "Could I get a 7:30 wake up call?" And she looked at me and said, "You want me to call your room?" And I said, "No, call the folks next door. They'll bang on the wall and wake me up." Here's your sign.
I thought you were going to say, you mean July 30th?
Yeah.
Bill, we'll let you go. I know you got to run, but can you do a station ID? Because the intern that we had destroyed the one you did the last time for us.
Yeah. What is it?
You're just going to introduce yourself and say you're listening to Animal House Radio.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody, it's comedian Bill Engvall, and you're listening to Animal House Radio. In fact, if you're not listening to it, well, here's your sign.
Oh, that's amazing. Bill, God bless. Tell Gail we
Hey,
said
and to
hello.
all the service people, God bless you. We're thinking about you. For those of you who are home, not home, pray to God you get home soon. And for those of you families that are left there alone, we're with you. We think about you, and just keep the faith.
Thank you so much, Bill. And let us know when you're in the air. We're going to come out and say hello.
You got it. You
Take
know
care.
I will.
Bill
And you
Engvall,
got
everybody.
to do the Bigfoot.
Yeah, I'll do the Bigfoot. I'll do the full rendition for you.
I'll even rent a costume for you.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Take
Thanks
care.
a lot.
Bye.
That was great.
That was amazing. He never disappoints though.
He's a good guy. He's just one of those good guys, you know.
He's like a regular. He is a blue collar guy, like you would see at a bar and hang out.
They all were. They all really were.
Larry.
I know
is,
Jeff.
you know,
I know Jeff because Jeff and I worked together for like a week and a half. At Rasmus.
He's
when
the
right
one
before he
that
quit.
I can't. You know, I know his manager Maggie is the same one that gets me. Larry, he's just so busy, even with the COVID. You know, he's just hard to get. But that's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
but
Jeff's a good guy, and he was at when I worked with him. This is before he made it, and he was actually thinking about quitting. He was getting to the point. He said, "All I want to do is make enough money to buy a ranch." That's all he wanted to do. And then all of a sudden he did the thing with the book. You know, you're a redneck if, and that was his career.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
you might be. Oh my God.
Yeah, that he catapulted his career. But he was ready to quit. He was ready to quit the business.
My favorite Bill Engvall, here's your sign, was he's talking about he's driving in California and he sees this trucker got stuck under the overpass. So he pulls over and he asks the guy, what's my name? He goes, my truck got stuck. So then the state trooper pulls up and Bill's sitting there. He's going, he can't say it. He's saying, so the state trooper walks up and goes, did you get your truck stuck? And the trucker says without a hitch, no, I was delivering this overpass and I ran out of gas.
That's great.
Oh, that was great. And then the other one I like is lost luggage. He goes to the airport. He goes to the lost luggage. He goes, yeah, I'm here to find my luggage. And the lady looks at him with a straight face. He goes, has your plane landed yet? He goes, no, sweetheart, I'm having an out-of-body experience. I just wanted to.
Did you ever hear his bit on marijuana the first time one time he did marijuana?
I love his stuff. All his stuff.
Hysterical.
You got it. Were you with us last year when we went to see him?
No, I was performing.
Dude, you got to hear the safari story when they went on vacation. It is so funny. Oh my God,
He's just a funny guy, and he always was. I remember him back in the days when he was starting out. He was still funny back then too. He's one of the pure storytellers.
Right, and that's what I like about him. He's not overly animated, but he
brings you in, and you're sitting there enjoying it.
Exactly. That's how you know the person is because they want to take that journey with you.
Yeah, because that's a really lost art. There's not a lot of storytellers out there.
If you lose them, then that's something wrong on you. It's not the crowd.
Then you're not a storyteller. If you lose them, you're not a storyteller. It's very simple. Right. I remember when I worked with Ron Schock in Atlantic City. He's one of those slow, deliberate storytellers, but the audience would hang on every word. He was just great at it. Some people are very good at it. Some people are not.
Yeah. See, I like, and I mean, the number one was Carlin, but you know, that's the great.
Well, Carlin was more bits. It wasn't so much storytelling. It was bits. The biggest, best storyteller of all time was Bill Cosby until he ruined that legacy. But he was
what a shame. What a legacy that he destroyed, huh?
Exactly. And he deserved it. He deserved what he got.
Yeah, but, I don't know why. Lately, my voice has been sounding real different on here. It's either
sounds normal to me.
I don't know. When I play back the replay, it sounds like much deeper and it's like in slow mo.
Maybe the speed is changing when on the playback. You ever check that?
I don't know.
That could be. Maybe the speed's changing.
I don't know. I think I have the wrong speaker on the microphone.
What's funny to me is that everybody because there's COVID-19, all guys are growing beards and mustaches.
Oh yeah, did you see Ron White's live video? He looks like Grizzly Adams.
I know. Everybody's growing their beards. No one wants to shave.
Yeah.
Even everyday people I see around town that I know, they all got beards. What the hell? No one wants to shave anymore.
Yeah, you know, and
they're all white. It's all white.
I thank you again, Mr. Veneer, for being my wingman. Is it $5 a shoe or is it for the both? You got to put that in your act, dude.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
You know, you got to think of another way that you got to do like your own. Not here's your sign, but something indicative of you, like a twister moment, tornado twister or something.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you see. See, that's why we pay him the big bucks. He comes up with the stuff on the spot.
It's a perfect
All right,
title,
buddy.
It's a perfect title for an album too. You're kidding, right?
Yeah, you got anything coming up that you want to mention, or
I had my whole July canceled.
years or so?
Yeah, my whole July got canceled, man.
Oh boy.
I had a couple of shows this month and all gone because of Murphy. Fucking Murphy.
All right, buddy. Be good, and I'll talk to you soon. Give my best to Lori and the girls.
Yep, same here. And tell Dante 2:30.
2:30. Yeah, it is. So he's on strict candy restriction.
Hey, tag me so I can post this.
I sure will. All right, buddy.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you all next time on the Animal House Radio Show.
Woo-hoo!
That's my favorite part.